dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYNT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4 this morning, a banner, the one you see right next to me, was hung in front of Hazard ARH showing everyone's appreciation for all healthcare workers. Those workers are, of course, on the front lines of this global coronavirus pandemic. WYMT's Will Puckett was there this morning and has more. Will?
Steve, good afternoon. It was a beautiful scene this morning at Hazard ARH as the sun was just getting ready to rise over the mountains. 2 City of Hazard fire trucks were used to suspend this banner over the parking lot. It reads, "Thank you all healthcare workers." It is a small gesture by the city and county showing how appreciative they are of the men and women who are working on the front lines every day.
The leaders of the city and county wanted to show them that we appreciate them and that we're thinking about them, and so we put this together a few days ago and got out here this morning to show them how much we love them and how much we care about them.
Steve, this will stay up all day today in front of Hazard ARH. The city and county leaders are trying to think of and find other ways to continue to show their appreciation as this pandemic drags on. Steve?
All right, Will, thank you very much. We'll see you again in about 30 minutes. The U.S. has nearly 150,000 coronavirus cases now. There are several hot spots in the country, including New Jersey, Michigan, Washington, and California. The epicenter, though, remains in New York, where there are now more than 66,000 cases. The Naval Hospital ship Comfort arrived in New York City ahead of schedule today. It is there to relieve the pressure on hospitals overwhelmed by the coronavirus crisis.
We are not alone. Our nation is helping us in our hour of need.
The Comfort has 1,000 beds and will treat non-coronavirus patients. Workers are also building an emergency hospital in Central Park near Mount Sinai Health System. The 68-bed field hospital will serve as a respiratory care unit. It was a tough day for people in West Virginia yesterday as the state reported its first coronavirus death. The victim was an 88-year-old woman from Marion County. We do not know if the woman had underlying health conditions. The Mountain State had 11 new cases of the virus yesterday, bringing that state's total to 124. Grammy-winning country music artist Joe Diffie died from complications of COVID-19. The 61-year-old Diffie told his fans he tested positive for the virus Friday. His management company announced his death yesterday. The country star became successful in the 1990s with hits like Pickup Man, Third Rock from the Sun, If the Devil Danced, and Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox If I Die. He also wrote hits for artists like Tim McGraw, Conway Twitty, and Jody Messina. Diffie has more than 20 top 10 hits. A well-known CBS News producer died from the coronavirus. Maria Mercator's career spanned more than 3 decades at CBS News. She helped guide coverage of some of the biggest stories of our time, from the September 11th attacks to the death of Princess Diana. For more than 20 years, she survived multiple battles with cancer. Mercator was 54. Britain's Prince Charles is in good health and finished his mandated 7 days of self-isolation after being diagnosed with the coronavirus. The Prince of Wales was diagnosed with COVID-19 last week. UK government and medical guidelines recommended he isolate himself at his house in Scotland for 1 week. Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, remains in self-isolation and is monitoring for symptoms. The 2020 Olympics is happening in 2021. The global coronavirus pandemic forced the International Olympic Committee to delay the Games by 1 year. The summer event is still taking place in Tokyo, Japan, but now athletes can set their sights on July 2021. The president of the Tokyo Olympics Committee spoke with the IOC president today, approving the new dates. The Games will begin July 23, 2021 and continue through August 8th. The Paralympics will follow starting on August 23rd.
as we head deeper into the day. But this is what's going on now, a red flag warning. Let's go to the graphics and take a look, and you'll see lots of counties there in the central parts of the area around Hazard, all up toward I-64, the Mountain Parkway, down into the Cumberland Valley as well into that. And we're seeing those wind gusts stout there, anywhere from 18 to 24 miles per hour across the region. So again, that's why that red flag warning is issued, partly with this as well, low dew point. So it's very dry out there. And I know that sounds strange after we had rain on Sunday morning and Saturday night, but again, it's dry out there today and those winds are cranking. Let's take a look at our current temperatures. Anywhere between 59 out towards Somerset, and you see 67 in Prestonsburg. That's kind of our range right now. Temperatures in the 60s for the most part, area wide, and we're going to continue to see that trend slowly starting to push downward as we head deeper in the nighttime hours. Your headlines: a soggy Tuesday setting up there as our next system works its way to town. A big cool down ahead, as we talked about this morning, redbud winter, and then after that, sunshine returns. Steve, I called it earlier a sunshine sandwich today and then Thursday there. I think we're going to continue to see that trend as we head toward midweek. The rest of the forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, Brandon Robinson from his house doing weather today as we try to do more and more things remotely. Airplanes do much more than carry people and cargo. They play a role in our weather observations as well. Now, with many airplanes grounded due to the coronavirus pandemic, that is having an impact on how those observations are collected. Meteorologist Megan James tells us about the impact.
The planes you see flying overhead aren't just transporting passengers and cargo. They are collecting weather observations too, such as temperature and wind direction. With a sharp reduction in air travel, there is a sharp reduction in these weather observations as well.
So as of right now, the GFS, the American model, has lost about a third of its aircraft observations this month compared to late February.
These observations are beneficial to getting short-term forecast models up and running.
Well, about 1/3 of the obs that go into a model to hot start it or to get it going are aircraft based. So that can result in some forecast accuracy decrease, especially in the short term, 12 to 36 hours. You might see that in some situations, not all.
While airplane observations may be lacking, we still have GOES satellite data and the weather balloon launches from the National Weather Service to give us insight into our atmosphere.
We have about 90 to 100 sites that launch balloons twice a day, usually at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So those are going up. But on severe weather days, we can launch balloons every 6 hours if need be.
Which means there are plenty of resources for us to give you an accurate forecast. In Lexington, Megan James, WYMT Mountain News.
Jarvis says that while the short-term models may see a decrease in accuracy, there's not been an impact to the long-term models. With COVID-19 visitor capacity restrictions in mind, many people are not able to attend funerals right now. One Pike County community had to find a different way to say goodbye to a woman who meant the world to them. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was there as the community came together in her honor.
Today, the Virgie community of Pike County is saying goodbye to a mother, wife, and friend. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, they couldn't be at the funeral home to say their farewells, so they've chosen another way. The community is painted pink. Businesses, homes, and roadways are lined with balloons and ribbon to honor the life of Samantha Muncy. She battled cancer for years before dying Thursday, leaving behind a community full of loved ones who say she brought them all together by being who she was. So they had to find another way to come together for her family during this time. So when Samantha's children asked for a balloon release in her honor, the community made it happen, lining the roadway to release balloons as the funeral procession made its way through.
Just that infectious attitude that she had towards people, towards God, towards fighting this disease, just brought everybody closer together.
Community members say this was the best way they could say goodbye to a woman they loved so much. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Coming up later, we'll have more about Samantha's legacy. A man was seriously hurt in a crash this morning in West Virginia. This is a picture from the scene. First responders had to cut the man from his car. The crash happened in Kanawha County. Sheriff's deputies say the car swerved and hit a barrier. The man was taken to a hospital. There's no word on his condition. A man in Tennessee is accused of walking into a store nude and throwing sausages at a cashier. This is Jalen Clay. Police say he entered a Knox County, Tennessee gas station nude and stole a bottle of water. Investigators say Clay then came back to the store later and knocked several items off the shelves. He's then accused of punching a woman in the head and throwing sausages at the cashier. Court documents say police officers tased Clay several times before they were able to arrest him. He's facing charges of assault. Coming up on Mountain News First at 4, do you need a haircut yet? With barbers and salons closed due to this pandemic, many people are turning to alternative methods.